Hey guys, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play the Somnium Files. Alright, we're here at Marble. I'm gonna talk to Oda and Iris. Something I noticed when I was off screen. I was looking at the flowchart to see how I was doing. It turns out I've deviated off the red route. Now I'm on green. Yeah, it seems like each one of those split decisions we can make in the Somniums will lead to a different route. I mean, obviously I'm going to end up doing all of them, of course. So why wouldn't I? I just really wonder what the fuck's going to happen in that one. Alright. Well, let's look around first. Flyer. Poster on the wall. Really nothing here, huh? Oh, you called Oda here?
No, I didn't tell him to come. He just showed up on his own.
Looks like he's bothered by something. Hey, isn't your phone broken?
No, this is my new one. You're thinking of the one I dropped in that puddle.
Never thought I'd run into you here.
I was nihiling with Tessa earlier.
Uh-huh.
She said she was going to Marble, so... I got here just before you did. Look, I was really worried about her. She was about to be charged with a serious crime. Oh, she left a little while ago. She said something about going to help an acquaintance. She told me to watch the place until she got back.
How well do you know Mama?
Not at all. It's my first time here.
I wasn't particularly surprised. Mama's always depended on the kindness of strangers, ever since she opened Marble. Alright, what was that thing about?
This actually works out nicely. I want to ask you something, Ota. It's about a Nile message you sent Iris. You said you wouldn't tell anyone about that thing. That you'd stay quiet no matter what. What were you talking about?
Well,
I'll tell her about the two-witter thing. I swear I'll do it.
Geez, fine. Just don't tell anyone else, okay? But before I tell you, who's that?
Huh?
What?
At the door. Someone's standing outside.
Oh, you little bastards! You little shits. When I woke up, I was lying on the sofa.
Where am I?
My head was killing me, my memory was foggy. I felt a sudden pain in my neck. I ran off. I shot up, rubbing my neck. When I looked over the counter, I saw a monster staring back at me. It took me a few seconds before I realized it was just Mama.
It looks like you're awake now.
As Mama spoke to me, it all came rushing back. I remembered everything. Maybe this has something new. What time is it?
It'll be 3 o'clock soon. In the morning, of course. I tried. You wouldn't budge. I thought you were passed out drunk, so I left you like that.
But I didn't have a glass in front of me, right?
So you weren't drunk?
Didn't have a single drop.
Oh, I thought you were drinking straight out of the bottle. Just like the old days.
Alright, where's Ota?
Ota? The boy I asked to watch the bar?
I'd say he's too old to be called a boy, but yeah.
He was already gone when I came back. All I saw was you getting your beauty sleep on the floor.
Damn it, Ota. What are you thinking?
It appears that he took off with Iris.
Yep.
What were you doing during all this?
My power was shut down due to the stun gun. I have rebooted in safe mode and am now operational.
The hell is that little shit up to?
Date, the boss is calling.
Oh, great.
How am I gonna report this one?
Date, listen. Stay calm, but this is an emergency. Just now, the killer... Well, just watch the video. I sent the address to Iba.
Oh. What, is the killer
Iris.
Ota? Jesus.
No, that's...
The criminal is streaming this live.
Iba, the source.
Identified. The Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse, Koto District.
Okiura?
Date, focus. We need to get to the site, now.
I thanked Mama and ran out of marble.
What's our ETA?
Our destination is far from here. 20 minutes at the fastest.
Please, please let me make it in time. That sick bastard!
That's fair. What the hell is going on?
Tessa! Hold on! I'll save you!
Ota!
Is he setting this up? So we can look like a hero to Tessa?
Stay away from Tessa! Ah!
Oh, don't tell me. Is this, what, like a fucking show they're doing? Fucking arrest both these idiots. Kept my foot to the gas the whole time. I could feel the sweat on my palms. The engine raised a high-pitched scream, but I could barely hear it. My heartbeat was pounding my ears, shaking me to the core. How much time had passed? The feeling of time itself had disappeared. Eventually, the car reached a long bridge. Shortly after, the image changed.
No, it can't be. Stop!
Oh. Guess not. Guess it wasn't fake.
No!
Ota.
Ota.
The fuck is going on? Are Iris and Ota dead?
There you are. Finally. I was looking all over for you. It's rare to see you down like this. But it's understandable. You blame yourself for this, don't you? Beating yourself up about taking Iris to Marble, and about letting Ota get the upper hand on you. Am I right? Shall I tell you what Investigation HQ thinks? Ota Matsushita is a criminal stalker who committed murder-suicide. Ota had a selfish love for Iris. He was under the delusion that Iris loved him too. But Iris refused Ota. So Ota decided that he and Iris should be together in the afterlife, killed her, then killed himself.
That's ridiculous. Ota would never kill Iris. And how do you explain the other two murders? Iris's left eye was hollowed out. Just like Renju and Shoko. Those three murders were definitely executed by the same person.
Yeah, they had to be.
The new Cyclops killer. There's no way that's Ota. Too many pieces don't fit. Too many contradictions, like killing Iris.
Such as?
That's all there is to look at in here. Alright, yeah, Ota had no incentive to kill Renju.
Maybe he was thinking like this. The reason Iris and I can't be together is because her agency prohibits it. Making the president, Renju, the ultimate bad guy in his mind.
Mizuki is Ota's close friend. Do you really think Ota would kill his friend's father?
Yeah, what about Shoko?
Shoko was married to Renju. Maybe he was trying to get at Renju by killing her.
Oda didn't know that, though.
That's a stretch. They've been divorced for years. Ota knows all about it. He wouldn't use Shoko to get to Renju. The culprit was wearing a polar bear costume, probably to hide their identity. But if murder-suicide was the plan, the costume served no purpose.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota showed himself on the stream. If he was gonna kill Iris and then himself, why would he do that? The only reason you would show yourself like that is to prove that you weren't the culprit. Ota and the polar bear on the screen at the same time would prove that they're not the same person. That behavior would be totally unnecessary if he was gonna commit suicide anyway.
Well, maybe he wasn't planning on dying at first. After he killed Iris, he realized that he couldn't live with himself.
So he lies down on the workbench and turns on the ice-cutting machine himself? I don't buy it.
There are some additional discrepancies. I analyzed the investigation report. Judging by his wound, Ota was stabbed in the side by a kitchen knife or something similar.
Are you sure?
I am.
I told the boss what Aiba found.
Oh, I know that.
And why do you still think he did it?
Well?
Ota could have stabbed himself.
Why?
Maybe he thought it would be a fatal wound, but when it didn't work, he went for the ice-cutting machine.
Why not just pull the knife out and try again?
Then, shouldn't we have recovered the kitchen knife from the scene?
Yeah, and where is the knife?
Maybe he threw it in the ocean.
What?
Boss, come on.
This is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard.
Ota goes out to the water, stabs himself in the gut, throws the knife over the side, then walks back to the warehouse?
Yeah, why not just jump in the water?
Well, I wasn't being serious. I didn't think Ota was the culprit from the beginning. I was just playing devil's advocate for HQ.
Really?
Yes, really.
Anyway, Ota didn't kill anyone, and he didn't kill himself. Here's what I think happened.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota knew Iris was kidnapped, so he rushed onto the scene. That's when he saw the culprit wearing the polar bear costume.
That's probably when the culprit stabbed him in the side. When he went to go attack
He
him.
tried to fight him off, but ended up being stabbed in the side. He was weakened and losing blood at the culprit's mercy. The culprit forced him into the costume, then under the ice-cutting machine. And then...
Then, who is the culprit?
I wish I knew.
We're up to 4 victims. But Ota was a special circumstance. He wasn't specifically targeted by the culprit.
Yeah.
Right. And he was the only one to not have his eye pulled out.
So let's focus on the 3 other victims. Shoko, Renju, and Iris. What connects these 3?
Connections.
If you find a connection between the victims, you find a connection to the culprit. That's the theory of investigation, right?
You think the new Cyclops killer is related to them somehow?
Maybe, maybe not. But it's a good starting point.
Really, there's only one connection. And that would be Mizuki. Oh, actually, no. Hitomi would too. Those are the 2 that make sense. Because the other 2 make absolutely no sense at all. I mean, let's go through all of them anyway. This one makes the least
Renju and
sense.
Shoko were connected to the Kumakuras.
Not Iris, though.
But there's no connection to Iris.
Same with Sejima. No connection
Renju,
whatsoever.
Shoko, and So. There is a connection between Renju and Shoko through the Kumakuras.
Yeah, but that's it.
But again, I can't see any clear link to Iris. Mayumi had motive for killing Iris and Renju. Mayumi hated Iris, and she didn't think well of Lemnis Gate either. And since Renju is the president... Anyway, the weak point is Renju's ex-wife, Shoko. I can't imagine why Mayumi would kill her. And above all else, she would never harm her only son, let alone kill him.
Yeah, she definitely would never hurt Ota.
Mizuki has the strongest connections with all three victims. Shoko and Renji were her parents, and she was close friends with Iris. She was good friends with Ota too. But that's why I could never believe Mizuki would kill all four of them. Thinking of her as a suspect is ridiculous. Hitomi and Renji are definitely linked. They were high school classmates, and she did say that she met Shoko twice.
Why would she kill her own daughter?
But I can't imagine she would kill Iris in such a gruesome way.
Yeah.
No matter what the circumstances were, it seems impossible to me. I know Renju and Shoko, and I'm connected to Iris, but I have an alibi. Aside from Shoko, there's no way I could have killed any of them. No, now that I think about it, Shoko too. I don't remember killing her. My memories from 6 years ago are missing, but I still have my memory of recent events. And if I start doubting myself now...
Date, I can say without a doubt that there is zero possibility you are the new Cyclops killer. I have been working with you for years. I know better than anyone that you are innocent.
I thought it over, boss. Of the people I know, I can't peg any of them as the murderer.
And no leads to pursue?
No.
Then there's only one thing you can do. Continue your investigation. Do whatever it takes to get the culprit. To get justice for the victims.
You're right. Got it, boss.
Alright. A lot of places to go. Let's start at the cold storage warehouse. I stepped into the cold storage warehouse. The air conditioning wasn't running, but it was still cold. The temperature hadn't raised much at all. Cold air sunk into my skin. But the center of my body was burning hot.
This forklift is old. It does not appear to be functional. It has not been moved in some time. A video camera and laptop. This is what the criminal used to stream. All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them. I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse. Okiura Fishery Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it. I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju.
Oh, did they sell it?
The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died.
Huh.
Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
Huh.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious.
Interesting.
I checked this place point by point, but didn't find nothing.
Shelves packed with cardboard boxes. I don't see any clues here. An oil drum. Unlikely to be a clue.
Right here. Iris and Ota were...
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death.
just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
And the cause of death.
Right, about that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound, or...?
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he was certainly on the verge of death.
Yeah.
If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle.
Maybe Ota was trying to help Iris jumping at the criminal. That led to a scuffle and Ota ended up with a knife wound in his side. He lost all his power to fight back. He was forcibly put inside the costume, then finally cut open by the ice cutting machine.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown.
Iris and Ota's bodies are under autopsy. Their bodies aren't here anymore. Right here, Iris and Ota were. Iris and Ota's blood. This is probably where Ota got stabbed. Is this Ota's blood?
No, nothing so far.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There's a cardboard box on the floor. There's nothing in it.
There are only a few items on the shelf.
Is this warehouse not in use?
Wooden box on the shelf. It's empty. What is up with this warehouse? A hook is hanging from the crane, from the ceiling crane. Iris and Ota were sliced in two by this ice cutting machine. Iris and Ota.
Iris's estimated time of death and cause of death have been confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Which means Iris's time of death is 3:20 a.m.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Yeah.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered. Date, we should get moving. Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly. We will not find anything of importance here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
All right.
Let me know if you find anything. I let them know, then left the warehouse. Alright. When I left the warehouse, I saw Pewter. What is he doing here? He walked up to me while I was trying to work it out.
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
About?
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
Yeah?
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little...
Aren't you gonna get in serious trouble for talking to me about this?
Why didn't you say anything in Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So, I decided to meet you here.
All right. Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the original Cyclops killer could not have committed these crimes.
Yeah, why are you absolutely certain?
Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer. Although, it's more accurate to say, killers.
So there were two people.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice.
Was the accomplice Iris?
One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura.
Oh.
The previous chairman of the Kumakuras.
So the accomplice is Kumakura. The former boss. The very violent one.
They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball.
Computer looks grimly serious. Alright, so about Rohan.
18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes.
Ew.
Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own.
Yeah, no wonder why he was removed from the family.
Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner, the aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was established. This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
Alright. Why the Cyclops case get classified?
That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time. Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You really have no idea?
If I did, I would tell you.
Alright, so who's the murderous psychopath?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust.
So he couldn't feel any of those things.
It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but he was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute.
A substitute?
His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means.
Like torturing and killing people.
Due to the unique
Or causing
idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
Killing people.
What was it?
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system of the brain. The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine. Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. That enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again.
Alright, summarize for me.
The original Cyclops killer had an accomplice,
There were two Cyclops killers.
and one of them was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Rohan committed suicide.
That means... Pewter, tell me this. One of the original killers is dead, I know that. But that means one remains. Who is he?
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case,
Isn't that always how it goes?
he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
Fuchu prison?
Yes.
What's his name?
In prison, he doesn't have a name.
Let me guess, is it number 89?
He is simply called Number 89.
So the original Cyclops killer has information about the new Cyclops killer.
Number 89.
Yeah.
I know who killed Shogunadami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes.
Because he's in prison already.
Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars.
I see.
Neither of them had the opportunity.
Alright, so I guess that takes us to other places. Oh, much as this is gonna really pain me, oh, hey, let's go see some grieving mothers, huh? Oh, this is gonna suck. Alright, well, at least we have all information about the original Cyclops killers. It was Rohan Kumakura and this number 89 inmate, who apparently has some information on the new Cyclops killer. But we'll have to see. Alright, the place was silent. It was so quiet I felt like I could hear the floating dust. I stepped inside. I thought it was empty, but I saw a shadow in the corner of my eye. It was Mayumi. It was like watching a decaying old tree cling pathetically to the earth. And this place is really fucking depressing now. I mean, that's not really something I should be laughing at, but you know, like, oh, fuck. She's looking at photographs in her hand.
This is your fault. I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris, my boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now. Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Date, let's go. She is in no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Oof. Might as well knock this out now. Let's go to the Sagan residence. When I visited the Sagan household, I found Hitomi with a hollow look in her eyes. She let me in and asked me to sit on the sofa. I agreed and sat down. But after that, I couldn't say a single word. The heavy silence weighed on both of us.
In the language of flowers, the iris means good news and hope. When I saw the flowers this morning, I just knew something good would happen.
Oh boy.
Iris.
That's just fucked. Just drawing on the wall. Alright. Tomi is composed. She's hiding her sorrow deep in her heart. She's gentle, but strong.
Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together. Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine. Then it was 2, then 3. And finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent, even though she needed constant attention growing up. Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why? Oda was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school.
Oh.
I heard it from the police. Oda tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words.
Hitomi, my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but...
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding, the second time a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
The prison?
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger. I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Do you know who?
No, I don't. We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison, in Tokyo.
Of course.
Fuchu.
Prison?
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
I don't know what to do. Thinking about her.
Dante! Please, you have to catch them! Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.
Oh fuck. Oh man, that whole section had me fucking crying. Jesus. My eyes are still all teary. Oh shit. Mizuki's curled up on the sofa. She looked like a small animal frightened by a predator. Mizuki's favorite metal pipe. Mizuki's staring at the floor.
Mizuki must know about Iris and Ota.
Of course. The news was distributed heavily across the internet. Not just in Japan, but worldwide.
I feel so bad for Mizuki. Her parents, her friends, like, fuck.
3 days ago, Mizuki discovered her mother's body. 2 days ago, her father's. This morning, 2 of her best friends. It is completely understandable that she is at her mental limit.
Yeah.
Can I be left alone for a while?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
She certainly didn't seem so. But I can't stay by her side forever.
Aiba, contact Abyss. See if they can get Mizuki a good counselor.
Understood.
I stayed with her for a little while, but we didn't speak. Having nothing more to say, I left.
Are you okay, honey?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 in the morning anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information. Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Intuition.
Tell me.
At this rate, at this point, I don't think I'm gonna get any new dialogue for these. But you know, it's still worth checking. Alright, nothing.
The Kumakuras are involved in this case.
Are they?
Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras?
Yeah.
Shoko also has a relationship with them.
I know that.
You know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras. That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
Not 2, 3.
Iris did?
3? Iris?
No, not that one. The boy.
Ota?
He came here last night?
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner. He's linked to the Kumakuras as well.
Wait, is Mayumi's husband one of the Kumakuras?
Have you heard the rumor?
Mama told me a similar story to Aiba's. About Sosajima in the Kawasaki district. Oh yeah, we've heard about that. How does that relate to the Matsushita Diner? The basic idea is this. 8 years ago, So sold his land in the Kawasaki district for 30 billion yen. Half a year later, an explosion at the chemical plant caused the land prices to drop drastically. Oh wait, the Matsushita Diner was in the Kawasaki, or is by the Kawasaki district, right? So bought back the land for 1 billion yen. Almost like he knew beforehand the accident would happen. Did So blow it up or conspire to blow it up? No, that wouldn't make sense. So wouldn't gain anything from that. He would end up with 29 billion in cash and 1 billion in land. It's a net zero. But there's more to the story. About So and the Kawasaki.
The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They of course look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts. I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps. They bought up land in Kawasaki.
Huh.
Now, back to So. Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kawasaki?
A casino in Kawasaki? But it's a prohibited zone.
So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kawasaki. I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly. But look at Kawasaki now. When I see images of the destruction on television, my heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kawasaki district at any cost. Casino Town Kawasaki will give new life to the city.
After that, So moved fast.
So he has a lot to gain from the Kawasaki district.
He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kawasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off-limits. However, the air in Kawasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kawasaki are going to skyrocket.
So's gonna make a shit ton of money.
And all that land is owned by the KE.
So and the Kumakuras, anyway.
And by So himself. The land he bought back for 1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
By So and the Kumakuras, you mean?
But there's no hard evidence of that.
Yeah.
It's just gossip.
Makes a lot of sense though. But yeah, so what's Oda's connection to the Kumakuras?
What were we talking about again?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right. You know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kawasaki district?
Yeah.
The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined. No wonder it closed down.
Closed down?
Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, oh, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
Huh.
Thank you, Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but...
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
No, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
Well then, be seeing you.
Come back anytime.
Alright, I think I'll end things off here for today. And in the next one, we'll get going probably to the Kumakura office. Oh no, back to Abyss headquarters. Alright, so I'll see you guys then. Bye!